known for sure where he's hiding and tell me. I'll take care of the rest. How does that sound? I could give it a try. Give me the details. Depends on the payment. How much will I get? Sorry, I have enough to do without it. Let's change the subject. I could give it a try. Give me the details. In a nutshell, after robbing the courier, Chigurov himself seemed to disappear off the face of the earth, but his sidekicks don't bother. Before he perished, my Petruka learnt of 3 of them. This asshole thief's ex-girlfriend, Kalandra the gypsy who lives in a ship in Paragon. Her job has something to do with the local dog attraction. Yet we've talked to her. His old partner, Richard the Serb, has turned into a hermit. Must now be living somewhere close to the place where the people call the site of the accident. Alright. One of his old gang members, a gangster called Mr. Matthew, bids his time in the old castle in the mountain pass of Woes. Talk to them, make them tell you all they know, and I'll try to make a picture and you'll get 1,000 rubles for it. Petruka shares in this difficult assignment. I'll help. Okay, I'll help you. Great, give me your map. The man examines your map to make sure all the points of interest are marked there and then gives it back to you. But remember, I need you to talk to all 3 of them. Not... Chigaruov's not an idiot to just tell about his hiding place to people he's not even connected to, but if we compare the information, we might stumble upon something interesting. Consider it done. I'll be back to talk of other things first. Okay. Cool. So, picked up another quest. I think this is the last house. What's up, Ruki? You okay? Okay, we got people sleeping here. Rummage through their stuff real quick. Just in case they got bullets or weapons or meds. Oh. Got 11 XP for turning on the record player. Didn't wake anybody up. That's surprising. So this couple over here. Oop. Bat. I could turn that into a bat with nails, but I don't need to. Looking for pistols, rifles, automatic weapons, dirty secrets. Hey Silver Tongues, no, this is Adam the RPG. It is in the Fallout 1 and 2 type-like video game. Recently was just released on Steam. It's out of beta or what is it? What do they call that nowadays? Yeah, it's out of beta. It's fully done. They've done a few patches. It's really good. So, yeah, but definitely not Fallout 1 or 2. They're a little more grainy because of limitations from back in the day. Try to escape. Alright, we're gonna kill everything. Other than that, it's pretty good. I mean, it's on Steam right now. You can pick it up. Let's see, where am I standing so I don't shoot anybody? Okay, so, alright. So let's take out that one. Those 2. Sweet! Quick and easy. That's pretty good for freaking 270 XP. It's actually on sale. It's not on sale, but you can buy it on Steam, and it's only $14, to be honest. And there are hours of content. Let's see, what am I up to in this? I paid $14 for 37 hours so far. And I'm a little bit over halfway through. Playing on the second hardest difficulty, Expert. Seems to be going really well. It does have a steep learning curve and can be a pain in the butt. Ooh, that's a deer. I can actually shoot that. Do I want to shoot the deer? I don't need the meat, so no reason to shoot it personally. So it's got all sorts of features in it. You can craft. It's got a character sheet. When you create your main characters, this is my main character, has stat points like Fallout 1 and 2. You may want to do some research if you play on the higher difficulties, even though I pretty much screwed up how I played and made my character for what I really want. I'm still able to progress, but I had to rely on getting good weapons and having companions to assist me. But right now we seem to be heading in the direction I want to. You got stats here and everything. Okay, so that's the rumbling ground that we were talking about. You get to have 2 distinctions that you pick up right off the bat. I've chose Morphine Doctor and Lucky One. You go over here, you have abilities or talents to help spec yourself out a little bit more. So right now I went down to the tree for True Grit so I could do rifles and shotguns. I have Monster Lore Expert, so when I mouse over something in combat, it tells me the weapon it's using and how many hit points I have. If I have a scoped weapon, I have 50% more crit on it. Now that I got that, I'm going to be heading over here into the automatic tree, so I don't have to worry about weapon weight. There's a lot to it. Hopefully that gives you what you're looking for. Okay, your gaze falls upon a young woman of 25 or 30 years of age who's standing by the fire in a very strange position. Judging by the absence of conversation with her rugged companion and any other activity, she's just resting by the fire, possibly waiting out the night. But at the same time, her body wrapped up in a tailored wintered raincoat is straight and tense. Her shoulders are spread out, and on the whole, she looks ready to dart off at any second. Okay, she's got nothing to trade. Although it's not fear, at least you don't notice this emotion on her face badly lit by the fire. A different, much stranger guest comes to your mind. The stranger is standing at the attention position waiting for some orders. Attention. Apart from this unexpected thing, you also notice a strange low-pitching buzz coming from a yellow parcel sticking out of the left pocket of the woman's raincoat. As she notices you, the woman flinches as she woke up from a stupor. She quickly draws an outdated reusable metal syringe from within her coat and grabs it by the plunger as if she was holding a dagger. I'm warning you, another step I'll have to defend myself. The woman makes a short, sharp nod towards the thick steel needle that's facing you. I'll explain. Should this mixture of sodium peroxide and aluminum shavings get in the bloodstream of any of my adversaries, it will turn him into a living torch, let alone a nobody like yourself. The woman gets silent, evidently hoping that the speech she gave will make you flee. Intellect. A thermite mixture in a syringe? Excuse me, a mocking laughter. But ha ha ha, I'm going to do that. The woman quickly evaluates your words and puts the syringe away in the chest pocket of her raincoat. It would be silly to deny it. The mixture has been transferred in this container to scare less intelligent aggressors, as well as for a more convenient transportation and dosage. Its particular application in battle would hardly prove adequate, but although my bluff was called and ridiculed, you have to reveal something about yourself. Am I having the questionable honor of speaking to a researcher colleague, or is this erudition I just witnessed nothing more than a figment of my imagination? Perhaps the conversation will allow me to draw a definitive conclusion. Indeed, let's talk, especially that I happen to have a couple of questions. The woman slowly exhales. I'm listening. Who are you, actually? The woman nods to you and gives a short answer. Anastasia B. Nice to meet you. They call me Tilnak. The woman nods calmly. Names give a person little gravitas, Tilnak, much less than the people give him credit for, but I will remember yours, at least for the time of our communication. Speaking about the communication, there's something else I want to ask you. The woman shrugs indifferently. It looks like the conversation neither burdens nor entertains her at this late hour. I'm willing to hear it whenever I'll answer it will depend on the question. What is your profession? The woman takes her time to think about the answer, after which she shrugs. I doubt that many qualifications the title will be anything more to you than just empty words, and I doubt even more that this place I came here from should be made known to the first stranger I met. Let me put it simple. I am a scientist. Began my journey in this anomalous zone 5 months ago, relying on questionable reconnaissance data as a part of the group of 6 of my closest colleagues and comrades. This information should be enough for you to draw necessary conclusions. This calls for additional question. May I? What can you tell me about this strange place? The woman presses her thumb against her forehead in an unusual, unknown to you gesture. I believe it wouldn't be revealing anything new if I told you that this place, the Roaring Forest, is an anomalous zone. After all, anyone who has feet to feel the tremors of the earth under them can figure it out. I don't know the reason for this anomaly, although I do know a multitude of theories. From the completely nonsensical cryptozoological fantasies of the dwellers of the local Aristotle estates to the mythical explanations of the local priest who draw a conclusion between this area and the activity of the forces beyond human comprehension. I reached this place to dispel these theories, one of them in particular, the most ludicrous, the most absurd one. When I'm done with it, the reality, I'm afraid, will turn out to be completely uninteresting. Why not? It's a very interesting story. In fact, there's something else I want to ask you. 4. Have you heard anything interesting? I have to disappoint you. The woman taps herself on the forehead several times thoughtfully. Although I don't see much of a problem in talking about this place, an exclusive, well hidden from the outside work community of specialists that I come from, many years ago has fallen victim to what has started as an absurd, understandably theory and continues its existence as pseudo-religious dogma. Perhaps you're familiar with the concept of quantum immortality coined by the Western researcher in the pre-war years. The essence of this idea is very simple. The observable universe is just the materialization, one of the multitude of possibilities. The point in infinity that, according to the larger anthropotic principles, looks like the one of its kind only because of its alternatives are not available to our vision. In reality, the number of universes is endless. Each time someone or something faces a choice, a new world is born. Utilizing colorful metaphors, I'll present the following image. Yesterday, after choosing long and thoroughly between the leg of a mutated ant and the rotting flesh of a stray dog, you settle upon the later for your dinner. According to the theory of quantum immortality, with your choice, you created a new universe where everything happens the way it does in ours, but there, you've chosen the ant's leg for dinner. Here's a more dramatic example. Tomorrow you're going to meet a gang of criminals and fall their victim in a roadside ditch. Your death, according to this theory, will create a whole new multitude of universes in which you'll have either run away from your attackers, killed them all during the confrontation, never met them all, or even died, but slightly differently. One way or another, you continue to exist for a potentially infinite amount of time in the frames of an infinite number of worlds. Holy crap, lady. Of course, the extent of the theory is much bigger. For each universe where you were born a male, there's one where you were born a female or were born at all. For each universe with a nuclear bomb, there's the dozen where such technology wasn't necessary to developing humankind. There's an infinite number of examples. Yes, we know all that. All of that, of course, is nothing more than a thought experiment. However, from one of the prominent scientists of my lesser motherland, the theory has turned into a mania, into a fanatical obsession to discover the bridge between our world and an alternative one, and to give our version of humankind an exodus to the universe where the devastation war of the 1986 never happened. After a whole range of suicidal expeditions to the surface, this mysterious force was unfoundedly named the junction point, the sigil of the multiverse. I volunteered for an expedition to this place to prove once and for all that our leader's theories are insane, to oust him for his own sake and for the sake of our community, and nothing will stop me. You sure can talk. Wow, next question. Okay, that's everything. I see. Let's talk about something else. Nothing. I'll go now. You see, okay, so this is her companion. You see a pensive-looking man of around 40 years old or maybe 50 already, tiredly rubbing his forehead with his thumb and index finger. He's looking through you, through his tiny fire, and through the woman standing opposite him. The darkness of the deep night surrounding you and the uneven, constantly flickering light of the fire prevent you from determining not only the man's approximate age, but even his facial features. Everything about him looks blurry, covered in haze. The only thing you can see clearly is his worn-out trench coat. It's gray except for about a dozen patches sewn into in haste. It's worn into holes. Attention. Apart from that, your gaze is drawn to a whole armory of radio parts sticking out of the wide, partially torn pocket of the traveler's unsophisticated apparel. You also notice of a retractable Yagi antenna, a whole bunch of transistors, and even a blowtorch spent like cable goes deep into the man's suit. As he notices you, the man flinches and with a precise, well-practiced move draws from underneath his coat something that looks like a pile of metal scrap pressed into a cylinder half a meter long. The man's frightened eyes meet yours as he points a mysterious aggregate right at you. Whoa, 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 traveler. Not a step closer. Do you see? You see my thingy? It's a cryogun. That's right. I've assembled it myself on the blueprints from Young Engineer magazine. That's where the liquid nitrogen shoots from. Man points to the rust-eaten tank of butane attached to the device. You'll freeze in an instant. You just turn into an icicle, after which a small Hummer will shoot from this barrel and you'll be blown to smithereens. Do I make myself clear? Not being too scientific, am I? To smithereens. Not a single doctor will be able to put you back together after that. Once a man, now a Chinese puzzle. A Limar Chan's box, so there. The man gets silent, evidently hoping that the speech he just gave you will make you flee. Intellect. Excuse me, but does this little Hummer shoot out with the help of hydraulics or gunpowder gases? The man rubs the bridge of his nose for a moment, after which he exhales with disappointment and lets go of his cylinder. As it touches the ground, the cryogun falls into parts. A relay, an exhaust silencer, a small pile of transistors, and an extension cord. Although each of your options is ingenious in its own right, you are mistaken, my friend. The only two forces that kept this device together were that of an honest word and that of bluffing. Don't think of me as some lowlife liar, but we, the last servants of science, those who are trying to grab the bird of enlightenment by the tail, are not trained in martial arts. I personally am not even skilled in the domestic creation in that area. The mighty and moderately frightening Sambo, the device that might have shocked you, is just an assembly of random parts fastened together with an extension cord. But now that my proverbial cards have been laid on the table, how can I help you? Whew. Okay, I have a couple of questions, may I? The man smiles apprehensively and rubs the bridge of his nose. Who are you, actually? The man grunts and proudly extends his hand. Anastasis Borada, a self-taught physicist at your service. And how is my unexpected interlocutor known to the world? Nice to meet you. They call me Tilnak. Well, asking your permission, the man grabs your hand, starts shaking it energetically. Nice to meet you, Tilnak. Glad to see you in the ranks of our scientific concilium. That consists of you, me, and this amazing place full of riddles. Speaking about riddles, I'd like to ask you something else. The man chuckles joyfully and slaps his pocket filled with radio parts, causing indescribable screech and clatter. I am a convinced atheist. Moreover, I'm inclined to think that the religious cult is harmful for the masses, and that is the reason behind most of the world's conflict and diachronic prospect. But I'm not ashamed to say, for God's sake, ask me anything you want, my friend, for God's sake. Okay, we already have his name. Let's find out his profession. Man proudly straightens up. I'm a tuner's apprentice, now a free researcher, so there. A rich collection of popular science magazines that I assembled back in the pre-war years when I was a green youth, and that I've read cover to cover, allowed me to comprehend many riddles of the universe, and expelled me from the comfort and warmth of my native land, untouched by the gamma rays and the theta waves, and in search of the discoveries that would improve human condition. I act outside of anybody's jurisdiction. I work against the rules. Every man and his dog has robbed me by now, but I keep the faith in the progress, even when total lack of any care or help on the part of the science board of the Central Committee of the Communist Party of the Soviet Union. I see. I've got another question for you. What can you tell me about this strange place? Oh, your interlocutor throws his hands up in the air. Oh, Kramer, this place is commonly referred to as the Roaring Forest. I have heard all sorts of primitive theories trying to explain why it shakes occasionally. It's not shaking occasionally, it's constantly shaking. Jesus. A clandestine underground railway for the surviving members of the Central Committee, a nuclear bomb testing ground in the Earth's crust, a secret factory wearing the forest like a hat. The day and night produces armored vehicles for the cold-hearted mythical organization called Atom, and that apparently is tirelessly making ammunition to precipitate the destruction of the last survivors on Earth. And all nonsense, in fact. The place is a physical anomaly that was predicted by the great Post-Apocalyptic Indie in the July issue of the Young Engineer magazines in the year 65. I've read it many times before arriving to this seemingly absurd conclusion, but I digress. Excuse me. Not at all. It's very interesting. I want to ask you something else. Alright, 4. Have you heard anything interesting? Oh ho oh. The man is almost jumping with joy. Have I heard anything interesting? Do I know anything interesting, comrade? I'm so exalted that I'm barely holding in the mad dance of a primate, a savage who's just discovered fire. You've got such a clever look in your eyes. No, I'm not even going to ask you. I simply state that you have definitively heard about the theory of plural singularities coined by Conpitalo that was described in the June issue of the Young Engineers magazine back in the year 65. This genius, who was later tortured by the punitive psychiatry, made an assumption that surpasses all the theories that existed in the world of the big physics so much that it caused no reaction in the scientific community. These embodiments of the trivial, perplexed by his piercing wisdom, didn't even laugh. They didn't point at him with their yellow crooked fingers. They just kept silent. They ignored him. But he was so right. The thing is, my friend, that our Earth is far from being the only one. In exactly the same way as an unnoticeable and a very important part of the atom, nicknamed in the West with the odious word quantum, or the way I call it, microsegmentoid, is capable of simultaneously existing in an infinite number of places. The same way our planet can have a potentially infinite number of twins existing in the same place and time, but on a different radio waves of reality. Imagine, for the sake of simplicity, an infinite number of Russian dolls stacked one inside the other, but at the same time, these Russian dolls don't get smaller in a mathematical progression. They all are identical. Each painted doll perfectly fits inside the other, all the same way, because it's allowed by the differences in radio waves. Each such Russian doll is a separate reality that is identical to ours, but for some small difference. And somewhere there, or rather somewhere here, but not here but on a different radio wave. There is an Earth where you were born with a different hair color, with the different excuses, the vulgarity, gender. There is an Earth where you were never born because your parents failed to meet due to some fateful trifle. There's even an Earth where the damn war has never happened. They all exist in one spot, are divided with an indivisible barrier of the radio wave frequency. But a person from one version of the Earth can never get to the other version of the Earth and explore it. Then how do we prove that the theory is correct? It is very simple, my friend. According to the calculations of the great gray-haired master of science, there are weak points in a couple places on each copy of Earth. These are the places where the radio waves that separate the parallel worlds gets weak due to a number of geological regions, and that allows those who pay attention to observe the parallel Earths. My God, listening to these people is worth experience, and even cross the seemingly unbreakable barrier to the other world. The forests and the local peasants have nicknamed the Roaring one of such points. I've made such a long away from my homeland to observe it. Alas, so far I've detected the signs of the presence of the objects from parallel worlds. But now that I'm here, a discovery like this is just a matter of time. Whoa, I can see that you're as passionate about this theory as your companion. The man flinches and shuts his mouth just as he's about to say something. He is clearly scared. Almost a minute passes before he speaks again, showing no sign of his previous joyfulness. Excuse me, but who are you talking about? What do you mean, mate? Are you alright? Who indeed? Why, her, out there, the lady. Pointing at the woman standing by the fire. The man stares over your shoulder fearfully. His glance bounces off the foot-worn pieces of the land where the woman is standing, but doesn't focus on her once. The woman is deep in her thoughts and is not even looking at the two of you. Perhaps you had good intentions that are only clear, but you really scared me, my friend. There's nobody there, and there was nobody there before either. I was whiling away this night on my own before you came here to keep me company. Wait, she's standing right there. The man quietly swallows the lump in his throat and looks at you apprehensively, as if you were a dangerous lunatic. Alright, whatever you say. Yeah, there she is. That woman. I see her. Wow, she's cool. Yeah, I better go. So... that's interesting. So we got a deer here. Don't want to kill you, deer. Just... There's a hole here. Alright, let's take a search around. So, there's multiple holes. Two people that kinda marry each other, so maybe it is a place of some sort of quantum thing, and a bunch of spiders up ahead. Okay. Does it have a map? Okay, so this area is mapped. So let's start our adventure in spider killing. Sweet. Whew, that was a lot of reading. Okay, so we got some moles over there. So we're going to keep on going right until it leads us somewhere. So wait till our companions catch up, reload, initiate combat. Get a little closer. Go with aimed. Nice. Whoop. Oh, that worked out. Okay, they only got 16 hit points, so I'm just going to shoot them. Woo! Oh, I could talk to her now, too, to solve the mystery. Okay, so we'll go back and talk to her then. Alright, doggy teeth. Sorry, wolfies. Man, that was a mouthful. Talking to those two. Alright, so we'll come back over here and talk to them real quick.